Let's start today's episode with a spotlight on the resurgence of polio in Nigeria. In 2020, Nigeria rolled out the drums after it was declared polio-free. But 5 years down the line, the defeated enemy has resurfaced as a different strain, poliovirus type 2, in 50 local government areas across 8 states. Now, in the story, Just Nigeria's Wale Fakile tells us how families and authorities are handling the crisis in some of the affected communities.
5 years ago, Nigeria made history. A milestone that came after decades of pain, resilience, and over 2 billion vaccine doses. But in 2025, a disturbing silence creeps back into the narrative. These still waters carry more than just waste.
This circulation of vaccine variant is going on only in those countries with low routine immunization.
Poliomyelitis is a real infection. It's a debilitating disease that is for life.
No longer just lab results or silent strains. There's paralysis. There are children in hospital beds again. And somewhere in these gutters of northwestern Nigeria, Sokoto State, the poliovirus is hiding and waiting. Earlier this year, more than 2 samples of vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2 were isolated from environmental sites right here. The virus was traced to open sewage drains in 3 different areas of Sokoto North local government area.
I have one child that became unable to use his hand, and then he was brought to the hospital by the parents. And then, because our surveillance officers are everywhere in all the hospitals, immediately they consult such type of a child. They may provide some treatment for some inherent, things that they see, but they will also inform our surveillance officers. They will say, "Come, please, I have one child who cannot use their limbs."
That concern is not unfounded. As of April 2025, Nigeria recorded 17 confirmed CVDPV2 cases across 8 states, spanning 50 local government areas.
Yes, it is true. It is affected, and Nigeria is actively working to stop this transmission, which is going on mainly in the northern part of the country.
This strain isn't new. It evolved from the oral vaccine itself, weakened but still alive. In under-vaccinated communities, it mutates, and in time, it can paralyze. Here is how it spreads. When children take the oral polio vaccine, they build immunity and sometimes shed the weakened virus in their stool. In communities with poor sanitation and low immunization, this virus can mutate, circulate, and regain strength. It becomes dangerous and spreads.
Mutation means they change some of their genes. This change of genes will change the architecture of that virus from the one that is causing less infection or is not associated with infection, and to more virulent one that can cause infection, that can cause trouble, that can cause paralysis.
And it acts similar to the wild poliovirus. It attacks the child, goes into the system through mouth, that is through contaminated food or water, and it reaches the nerves, the spinal cord, where the motor neurons are, in the anterior horn of the spinal cord, and it destroys those anterior horn cells, and then the child becomes unable. The child can feel sensitivity. If you touch the child with fire or with an injection or whatever, he will feel it. The sensitivity is intact, but the movement is lost.
In 2015, Nigeria was first removed from the list of polio-endemic countries. But just 1 year later, in 2016, the country was back on the list after new cases emerged in Borno State. It was a sobering reminder: polio is a patient enemy, and the moment you stop watching, it returns.
Children are defecating outside, even the adults, they are defecating outside. Again, another factor. This defecation outside is contaminating water.
Globally, cases of vaccine-derived polio have declined from 528 in 2023 to 280 in 2024, a win for global health. But Nigeria still accounted for 94 of those 280 cases, about 36% of the global total. And when polio circulates in one nation, no border can contain it.
This circulation of vaccine variant is going on only in those countries with low routine immunization. Other countries, high-income countries, have also reported such cases in their environment.
It becomes dangerous as it starts being transmitted from one person to another. You know, somebody is having it because we can get it through water, through food, whatever, through close contact. So this virus now is circulating among population.
Deep-seated mistrust, disinformation, and even fatigue from years of campaigns are fueling vaccine hesitancy. And with insecurity disrupting campaigns in nearby states, children fall through the cracks. The risk isn't in the presence of the virus, it's in the absence of immunity. Children who are not fully vaccinated become carriers or casualties.
Very few people accept routine immunization. In routine immunization, this is where you get the injectable polio vaccine. And that type of vaccine contains the three types of viruses: the type 1, the type 2, and the type 3. So the killed vaccine that is used, the killed virus that is used in the injectable vaccine, it cannot be shed in the stool, and it creates bigger immunity for the child. So most of those people that doesn't take their children for routine immunization do not get the opportunity for their children to be protected.
Even the monitors and also the national coordinators acknowledge that there are remarkable progress in terms of the acceptance of these vaccinations.
In Sokoto State, authorities say surveillance has intensified, but with at least one confirmed case of paralysis and the virus detected in gutters, the red flags can no longer be ignored.
A lot of measures and policies were put in place to ensure acceptance and increased coverage in terms of immunization to the entire people of Sokoto State.
So we are doing all it takes to see that we reach all the children that are not accepting vaccines, the non-compliant households, as well as those that are hesitant from the vaccine, because they think if they take the vaccine, their children will not be able to deliver children in future, they will be infertile. They think it is a Western agenda to stop them from having children and reduce the African population, but that is not the truth.
This resurgence is more than just a health concern. It's a test of national resolve, of whether Nigeria can defend its polio-free status without slipping back into crisis.
Each eligible child, somebody who need to be immunized, need to be immunized.
The second, that is not enough. We have supplemental immunization, the campaigns we are doing. Every child should be vaccinated, whether vaccinated or not in previous rounds, whether vaccinated or not with routine immunization. Every child has to be vaccinated with supplemental immunization. There is no excuse.
Polio's return now has names, faces, and the heartbreak of paralysis. The danger is real and it's closer than it appears, in gutters, in silence, in hesitation. But this time, we know better and must act faster. Wale Fakile, Just Nigeria.